up your brand and you need to make sure it reaches the right audience and provide the best results, there's really only one place to turn to. It's one of the largest online advertising platforms really in the world, and that's on Google. And so today we're going to talk about how to advertise on Google. So thanks for joining, and let's get right to it and talk about Google Ads and its effect with advertising. So we're going to start out with, what are Google Ads? Well, Google Ads used to be called Google AdWords, and it's been around a good while, almost 20 years now. So really, Google has grown at a really rapid pace. It's become one of Google's main sources of revenue. You could say probably in the 90 percentile of its revenue comes from Google Ads. And when we say Google Ads, we mean people who pay for advertising on Google.com. So Google Ads, really what it does is it provides services that fall under the category of PPC, which stands for pay-per-click. You also may hear Google Ads or PPC referred to as cost per click or CPC or sponsored search. Really what it comes down to, it's a model. So when you advertise on Google.com and somebody clicks on your ad, basically you're paying Google for the click. Okay, so it's just really a business model where an advertiser pays Google to have their advertisement on Google.com, but they only pay Google when they get the click. So that's really, in a nutshell, how it works for advertisers. If I want to advertise my business, I can go to Google Ads and say, Google, place my ad on Google.com. And then my ad does get shown on Google.com, somebody clicks on it, it's just as simple as I pay Google a fee. So Google Ads is just an online advertising platform developed by Google with which advertisers can pay to display ads. They can offer up their services. There's video involved. There's obviously mobiles involved. So you got all the necessary devices and platforms available in Google's ecosystem. So for example, if I go to Google search, even if I type in, what is Google Ads? Here I could see a total of 1.8 billion results for what are Google Ads as my search query. So in search, you got a lot of different things going on here. You have organic results, you have videos that are being pulled from YouTube, you got a knowledge graph here, you got featured snippets, you got an organic listing, but really at the top, this is what we're going to focus on today. We're going to talk about sponsored search. So you can see here for this particular keyword query that I typed in, what are Google Ads? Really, two sponsored search or pay-per-click ads appeared. Now, if I happen to click on any one of these two and go to that particular advertisement's website, they're going to pay Google a specific cost per click. So that's how it looks on Google.com. It really depends on your query and what ads show up. But the great thing about Google Ads is they make it known for the user who's doing the search query what the ad is. So here I can easily pick out what's an ad, a sponsored search or pay-per-click ad, and what's not. Because if it's a pay-per-click ad or an advertiser advertising on Google.com, I'm going to be able to see this little box here that says ad next to the listing. And so by displaying that little logo, their ad, it's letting the end user know, the person who's searching, know that, hey, this is an advertiser who is advertising their product or service on Google.com. Okay, so that's how you can differentiate between paid search and organic search. Organic search here, or even down here, doesn't have that little ad box next to the listing. So if it doesn't have the little ad box, it's a paid search ad. Now, why do we want to advertise on Google Ads? Because it increases visibility to high quality audience. So what I mean by that is, search is really a great place to advertise because you're meeting the consumer halfway, meaning somebody's typing something in and your ad is there to help them find what they're looking for. So Google Ads advertises your product or service to the relevant audience to ensure the users perform the action required of them. So it's really a great way to get quality audience to your website, because if somebody types in something and you happen to offer what they're looking for, basically your ad's going to show up, somebody clicks on it, you pay Google for the click, and you get quality traffic in return. So the other great benefit to being on Google Ads is increases brand awareness. So it's a great way to get your product and brand out there. Google has a vast network, also known as the display network, but even on Google.com, the search network itself, the search engine itself, millions of people use it every day. In fact, here in the United States, it's been said or studied that people over the age of 18 use search at least once a day here in the United States. So you can figure that's millions and millions of people. So it's a great way to get your brand in front of a large captive audience. Okay, so top of mind awareness refers to a brand or product being the first one that comes to a customer's mind when thinking about a particular industry or category. So it really does provide top of mind awareness. Another benefit to being on Google Ads is retargeting. So when we say the word retargeting in marketing, that means, showing our ad to somebody who's already been to our website. So we can use Google's display network, or we can run remarketing lists for search ads right on google.com to ensure that we're targeting those folks who have already been to our website and have not performed a function that we want them to perform, such as converting or buying something or downloading something or subscribing to a newsletter or visiting a certain page. Okay, so if somebody doesn't do what we want them to do, it's okay. Maybe they aren't ready to commit to our product or service. And that's why Google offers up retargeting. So it allows us to reach that audience a second time. So they're going to be familiar with our product. They're going to be familiar with our website because they've been there. And so we can offer up a very unique, specific ad to that audience. So that's a really good benefit to being on Google Ads. So some other benefits here: increased intelligence. So, we can certainly get data about who is coming to our audience. So we can look at what device, what browser, etc. So we can really gain some information about who's coming to the website. We can certainly measure our performance. So with Google, we're paying cost per click. And so based on that model, we can certainly measure what keywords, what ads are generating traffic to the website and how much we're paying for that. Okay, and if that traffic turns out to be a lead, we can measure that against that specific keyword or ad or campaign. So we can certainly measure our performance all the way down to the keyword level. And we can measure up against how many conversions or what we're paying for those conversions. So Google Ads is a very highly quantitative approach to advertising, because there's lots of numbers involved and you're constantly collecting information about your advertising on google.com and its network. And another benefit really is its high flexibility. So Google Ads has a number of different options. So we can customize our ads based on an audience, based on a keyword, based on a specific website, based on retargeting. So we really have a lot of options, not to mention the number of options in terms of the ad format. Text ads, dynamic responsive ads, video ads, display ads. So Google Ads has very flexible options in terms of advertising, and we're going to talk about some of those as we move along here today. So another big benefit here, and this is what I always suggest, is if you're not ranking organically, then you might want to consider Google Ads, because as we've shown here in our example, if I go back to our example a couple minutes ago, if you want to bid on the keyword, what are Google Ads? Why would you bid on that? Well, it's relevant to your business. Maybe you're in the digital marketing industry and you want to help folks who need help in advertising on Google Ads. But what if you want to be found for that organically? Well, if you're not found for it organically, then you can bid on it. So it definitely is a good option if you're not ranking for a particular keyword organically. So it serves as almost an option. I always say that, search is like a fruit bowl. Okay, you have apples and oranges in that fruit bowl. Well, the orange is organic search and the apple is paid search. They're different approaches, but they share the same fruit bowl, the same real estate. So you can really help yourself by using Google Ads to complement what you're doing organically. So if you're not ranked organically for a keyword, you can certainly use Google Ads. If you are ranked for specific keywords and it's a highly competitive industry, then you can use Google Ads to help you leverage the amount of clicks you get from that ad. So it's okay to be organically listed and have a paid search listing at the same time. So if we go back to our example here, we could see WordStream.com has a paid ad, and here we could see just 2 spots below organically, they're showing up with an organic listing. So you could certainly be in both positions to try and maximize your clicks. So it's definitely a good strategy to run with Google Ads on top of everything we mentioned in terms of measurement, flexibility. Google Ads does offer up a really good incentive to advertise. And let's not lose focus that, again, search is really the only medium in which you're meeting somebody halfway based on what they're looking for. And when I say halfway, meaning your ad is going to appear for somebody who's looking for something, whether that be food, a cafe, a plumber, a doctor, or directions. Search is there to serve that person's needs. There's no other advertisement platform or no other channel out there in terms of advertising that reacts the same way, whether that be TV or radio or email marketing or affiliate marketing. Search is unique in that regard. So search engine results pages are the pages that are displayed by search engines in response to an ad. So that's SERP. And so you could certainly, be listed in the SERPs, or also known as organic search. But the great thing is Google Ads is there to help you get your brand or product in front of that user looking for a specific need or service. So let's shift focus now and talk about the various formats in Google Ads. On Google Search, we have text ads. So text ads are the only ad format on Google Search. And so here you can see in this example, you have a headline. So not only do you have one headline, you have 3 headlines in one ad. So JBL headphones, 1 headline. Wide range of headphones, 2nd headline. Amazon.in, 3rd headline. So you have 3 headlines. And the great thing about Google Ads with its text format is that you can have up to 2 descriptions of 90 characters. So the headlines are up to 30 characters, the descriptions are up to 90 characters. And so you can really write some specific information about your ad, about your product, about your service. Okay, and the ad is also going to contain what we call ad extensions. So here you can see shop by category, in-ear headphones, on-ear headphones. Those are all site link extensions, meaning they're going to link to something on your website. And so the purpose of the extension is to help get the click. So the reason why you're running Google Ads is to get the click. You want to generate the click. You want to get that traffic to your website. So by writing 3 headlines and writing 2 description lines and adding extensions to your ad, all help you get that click. Yes, you're going to pay Google for the click, but that's the whole purpose, is to generate the click from search. Because remember, search is there to respond to somebody's need or query. And so if you get the click on your ad, chances are it's going to be a highly relevant visitor to your website. So Google offers up a lot of opportunity for you to write a lot of information in your text ad on Google for Google.com. So Google also has other formats, and so they also have responsive display ads. So when we say responsive, we mean Google can serve up a specific image from your website based on what somebody's looking for, based on the page that they went to. So these ads are responsive. They adjust their size, appearance, and format depending on the space available. So responsive can also be text and or image. And so the whole point of response is if you have a large website, let's just say with a lot of different products and categories like Amazon. Well, it's hard to write static ads for thousands of particular categories and products. So why not let Google do the heavy lifting? Why not let Google serve up the images and ads based on what somebody looked at on your website? And so that's the whole idea behind responsive ads, is it allows Google to, show the particular ad that's most relevant to that user. So it's a great option when you're advertising on Google. You have image ads as well. So image ads are, as we mentioned, part of responsive, or they can just be static. And so here you can see an example from Slack. Okay, you can see just an image ad. But the great thing about image ads is you have a lot of different size options. So 468 by 60, 250 by 250, 160 by 600, all these are pixel sizes. So you have a lot of different size variations when you run image ads. Okay, so you don't have to run a small image ad, let's just say in comparison to Facebook, where you have a thumbnail, okay, and one size for a particular image ad on Facebook, versus Google, you have multiple sizes that you can choose from in terms of running image ads. So image ads are really a great option if you're going to advertise on Google. Okay, you also have app promotional ads. These ads are used to drive app downloads and engagement. So here you can see an example for Uber. So that's another option too if you have an app and you really want to drive engagement for that app. And then you also have video. So Google owns YouTube. So you can run video advertisements on YouTube. So they could be standalone or they can be inserted into other streaming video content as, say, a pre-roll. meaning people are going to look at your ad before actually watching the actual video they went to YouTube for. So you have a lot of different options with video advertisements on YouTube. So the other ad format you have on Google are shopping ads. And shopping ads are really a great way to get your product in front of the right user. So if somebody's looking for shoes or running shoes, it's an opportunity for you to run shopping ads so you could put that particular shoe with a description, with the price, with your brand name in front of that user. And so with a cost per click model, if a user clicks on your shopping ad, then chances are they're probably going to convert because they could see the product, they could see the price, they could see the product name, they could see the brand. And so it's an opportunity for you to really drive high quality traffic to your site with the opportunity to convert somebody at a very high rate. So shopping ads are really good because it prevents unwanted clicks. If somebody clicks on that ad, they're definitely interested. So let's take a look on search to see how that looks. So if I go to Google search and I just type in running shoes, so my search results are going to list not only some paid ads, but a lot of different options on shopping ads. So here I could certainly scroll around and see all the different brand names. I could see the price point. If I hover over it, I can actually see, some other information about it, like reviews, return policy. So if I actually click on this ad, chances are I'm going to buy it. Otherwise, why would I click on the ad as an end user? And so that's the great thing about shopping ads. It gives you, the advertiser, an opportunity to really get your products in front of people who are looking for your product or service. And given that you're listing the price, if they like the price and they click on your ad, they're probably going to go ahead and follow through with the conversion. So it doesn't necessarily have to be running shoes. It could be anything that you have to offer a user. So running shopping ads on Google is a good strategy if you have products. Okay, so you can showcase these shopping ads on Google search by certainly really giving Google access to your product inventory, connecting in some reviews, connecting in some information, connecting in the pricing points, and voila. It's really fairly easily to set up Google shopping ads within Google search. And the great thing about shopping ads is it also appears under images and also appears under shopping. So if I'm on Google search, I can go to shopping or I can go to images and I'll see those same image ads show up here at the top. And I will certainly see those under shopping as well. So shopping ads allow you to really showcase your products on Google search to those looking for that particular product. So it's really a great option with Google. You also have call ads. So when we say call ads, really, call-only ads are great for mobile. So when you run advertisements on Google, if you have a phone number associated with your business, you can certainly add that phone number to the ad. So if somebody's searching on their mobile device and your ad is displayed along with your number, if they click on your number, they're actually going to call your business, and Google can track that. They can track how many people click on your number and even turn that into a conversion for you. So if you have a phone number associated with your business, it's wise to go ahead and set up, what we call a call extension as part of the ad, because if somebody sees that ad with that phone number on mobile, it allows them to easily just click on the number and call your business. And so Google can track calls as well. So keep that in mind if you have a phone number and you want to associate that phone number with an ad. Okay, so let's move over to where is Google showing your ads. I showed you an example of Google search. So we looked at text ads, we looked at shopping ads on Google Search Network. So Google Search Network really allows you to advertise on Google search. So with Google search, if I go back to Google search and I go to all, I typed in running shoes. Okay, here I can see shopping ads. Here I can see a couple of text ads. So you have the opportunity, if you're running only text ads, to show at the top. And if you're not at the top, then Google will place you at the bottom. So it really depends on the keyword that somebody's querying in Google search. So it really depends on how many people are advertising. And so what Google does, if I didn't have any shopping ads here, Google will list a maximum of 4 text ads at the top, and at the bottom, any other ads that weren't shown at the top will get placed at the bottom. So ideally, if you're running text ads on Google, you want to make sure you're always at the top, and I would say between positions 1 and 3. You always want to make sure you're at the top. Okay, so you can certainly measure that. Remember, Google has measured performance, so you can measure everything about your ad. So if you're going to advertise on Google with a text ad, you want to make sure you're always at the top. So let's have a look at the different types types of search networks that Google Ads is affiliated with. So the first is Google Search. Okay, so let's focus on Google Search. And so basically when we say Google Search or search sites, we really mean google.com or all Google search engines for that matter. So if you want to advertise to a mass audience, you want to probably start with google.com because again, millions of people use it on a daily basis. And so if you're advertising on google.com, your ads will appear basically below or above the search results on a Google search. So if somebody searches for something, depending on the search query, they're going to see results. Now, depending on the device, also, so they could be on mobile or on desktop, they could see sponsored ads or paid ads, they could see local listings, and they could see organic search results. So for example, this is what an ad would look like. So let me show you what that looks like on Google Search. So if we go, for example, to google.com and type in the keyword classes on digital marketing, we could see some search ads here. These ads appear above some featured snippets and the organic search results. Okay, so depending on a lot of different factors. Again, I've mentioned this throughout the webinar. There are a lot of factors in showing up in the top position, second position, third position, and so forth. Okay, if I scroll all the way to the bottom, you may even see ads down here, depending on how many people are actually bidding on the keyword phrase, classes on digital marketing. So we could see Simply Learn here in the second position. Why? Because again, I can see the logo ad here. Okay, so I can see Simply Learn using 3 headlines. I can see Simply Learn using their 2 description lines here, and I can see Simply Learn using some other extensions with the ad. Now, all of this is geared towards getting the click. So when you're on Google Search, the whole idea is somebody's looking for something, you're offering that up. And so it doesn't even matter if you're in the top position. Ideally, you want to be in these top 3 positions in order to get the click. Okay, so that's the whole idea behind being on Google Search. If you're on Google Search, you have the opportunity to be at the very top of the search result or in the top 3 above local listings and above organic results. Now, if I change my search query and typed in coffee in San Francisco, my search results are going to be completely different. I'm going to see local listings here. Okay, so this is tied to Google My Business, not Google Ads. Okay, so this is completely different. So don't mix this up with running ads on Google Search. So Google My Business is tied to local listings or Google Maps. And again, with desktop, which is what I'm showing you the search result on, you're going to see likely Google local listings above organic results. Okay, and if I go back to my previous query of classes on digital marketing, I'm going to be able to see paid search results above local and organic listings. So in other words, if you're running ads, ads are going to trump any other type of result on Google Search if you can be in positions 1 through 3. Now, in addition to google.com, Google also has something called Google Search Partners. So if you set up an account and you set up a campaign in Google Ads, you have the option to choose Google Search as your network. And then as an alternative or an additional option, you can advertise on Google Search Partners sites. And so some of their search partners can range. So basically these are sites that have partnered up with Google that's allowing Google to show ads on their site. So the sites can range anywhere between YouTube to Amazon to New York Times. Let's take a look at an example. It could even be another search engine. So if I go to say ask.com and type in classes on digital marketing, it's a completely different search engine, but I can see the same ad for Simply Learn. So I could see a different headline here actually, but I could see the description and I could see some site link extensions. And so notice the ad is still at the top. In this case, it's in position 1, and I can see multiple companies running advertisements. Why? Because I could see ad next to it, and I could see those over organic listings. So these are Google Search Partner listings. So you can opt in to be on other partner sites that Google or other sites that Google has partnered up with. So you have options outside of Google Search, and that option is Display Network. So Display Network allows you to advertise elsewhere which is outside of Google search. And if you're going to advertise on Google's display network, you have more ad formats available to you, including image and including video. For example, your ad can be found on a specific website. If you choose to advertise on the NewYorkTimes.com or WebMD or Marriott.com, you can certainly do that. Okay, you just need to tell Google, hey, this is the site I want to advertise on. So some of the advantages of being on the display network. So if you don't want to advertise on Google search, okay, google.com, you can certainly go to display, and on the display, if you're running display ads or even video ads, you're going to grab the attention of potential customers because of the format of the ad. Okay, so putting your ads in front of people early on in the buying cycle can have a very positive effect. So you're basically reaching out to a large number of people on Google's display network and giving them an opportunity to see who you are as a brand and giving them an opportunity to see what your product is all about. So for me, the display network is a good opportunity to get your product and service in front of a lot of people, because the way the display network works is it's a millions of websites who want to have advertising on their site. And so you can really pick and choose a specific site where your audience is going to be and get your ad in front of that audience. So you can really retarget to potential customers. So retargeting, as we said earlier, is really reaching out to people who have already been to your website and didn't perform a particular function that you wanted them to perform. Meaning, somebody came to your website from paid search on google.com and they went to page A and then they left. So you really wanted them to go to page B, add a product to a shopping cart, and check out and purchase that product. However, if they didn't do that, you could certainly run ads knowing that they've been to page A and page B, and you can offer up that specific ad to that person who's been to your website. And so that's what retargeting really is all about, and you can retarget on Google's display network. So remarketing your product to people who have previously visited your website or even your app allows you to really get your ad in front of a qualified audience. And so you can take advantage of analytics. So Google's ads has all the information you need. So let's actually take a look at some of these options in Google Ads for the display network. So if I actually go to Google Ads and I actually go to display campaigns, I can see I have a lot of different options available to me. So if I click on keywords, for example, okay, I can choose keywords for my display campaign. So what Google does, if you choose keywords, basically what they're doing is they're going to contextually place your ad based on the keyword. Okay, so that's an option for you. If you're not sure what websites to be on with the display network, you can certainly just add keywords, and based on those keywords, Google will place your ad on websites that they deem relevant to the keywords you choose. So you can also choose demographics. So on the display network, you can say, hey, Google, I only want to advertise to say 18 to 24-year-olds or 25 to 34-year-olds. And so based on that, Google is going to place your ads on websites related to that age demographic you're interested in. On the display network, you can also choose topics. So if there's a specific topic that you want your ad to be associated with, you can certainly do that. So Google has a number of different topics at their disposal. So here, if I just choose a particular ad group, now I have specific topics that I can choose, from arts and entertainment, food and drink, to news, to pets and animals. And so under each one of these topics, I can get really specific. So if I go under science, I can see subcategories under the topic science. I can see chemistry and physics and scientific institutions and equipment. So I can really pick and choose specific topics where I want my ads to be shown. As I mentioned already, you can pick and choose specific placements. Okay, so if you have a specific website that you want your ad to be shown on, you can certainly let Google know. Okay, you can also advertise on Gmail. You can also advertise on YouTube. So you can really pick and choose where you want your ads to be shown. So you have all these different options available to you. To me, one of the best options for advertising on the display network, because when you tell Google you have a specific audience you want to target, and that audience could be somebody who went to a specific page or somebody who went to your website and didn't convert, you can associate that audience with the campaign. And when you associate that audience with a campaign, you can retarget them with an ad. So the display campaign is very powerful with Google because you have all these different options available to you. So with Google Ads, you can also determine how well you're reaching your goals, which websites you're running your ads on, which ads are bringing in clicks, and which site gives you maximum value for the minimum cost. So you can see all that in Google Ads. So when I actually pick and choose how I want to target, I can certainly measure that. So for example, audiences or demographics. For example, if I go back to demographics, I have all this data that Google's collected on my advertising. So I can see, for example, by age range, based on my campaign, how many clicks, how many impressions are how many times my ad's been seen. Click-through rate, meaning the rate at which people see my ad and are clicking on my ad. How much I'm paying per click. CPC is cost per click. Total cost. And conversions. How many conversions am I getting? So I could see all this data available to me in Google Ads. So it's a very powerful platform for measuring performance. Okay, let's talk about how you can create a Google ad. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to set up your campaign and you want to align a goal with that campaign. Just like we talked with ads related to Facebook, you always want to align a goal with your campaign. Just like we talked about there, we want to do the same thing here on Google. So we have a number of different options at our disposal. So when you run a campaign, why are you running the campaign? So if you're in just to drive traffic or you're trying to generate brand awareness, okay, great. You can still set up that campaign. You're just going to choose the display network. Okay, the display network allows you to get your ad out there on millions of websites so that people can actually see what your brand, product, or service is all about. Now, if you're into direct response, meaning you're in it for sales and leads, then you probably want to choose potentially Google Search Partners as a network. Okay, not display, but Google Search and the partner sites, okay, on Google Search. So by choosing Google Search as your network, it's direct to response. So somebody's typing in a keyword query and you're responding. So that's the whole idea behind Google Search, is we want to meet somebody halfway. We want to be able to offer up the product or service they're looking for. So if sales and leads are what your campaign goal is all about, then you want to go Search Network with the option to choose Google Search Partners. Okay, again, if you're into, driving brand awareness or product and brand consideration, then maybe you should choose the display network. The bottom line is you need to figure out what the goal is of the campaign. That's the very first step and most important step, is to figure out what the goal is of the campaign. And once you've decided that, then it's on to setting up the campaign. And in Google, you're always going to have at least one ad group. And what makes up an ad group? Keywords and ads. So ideally, when you set up a campaign on Google Search Network, you're going to choose keywords. And those keywords should be tightly knitted or tightly themed, or in other words, be all relevant to one another in an ad group. So that's what an ad group is. Keywords that are relevant to one another. Okay, in that ad group, you're also going to have an ad. So when you choose your keywords, you're going to write an ad for those keywords. So step 3 is, after you set the ad group and choose your keywords, you're going to create an ad. So let's take a look at how that looks in Google Ads. So if I go to Google Ads, I can see I already have an account set up. I have a couple of campaigns. So let's just say I have this campaign set up here. I'm just going to call it industrial campaign. Okay, and if I choose industrial campaign, okay, I'm going to then be asked to set up an ad group. Now, if I set up an ad group already, in that ad group should be keywords and ads. Okay, so remember, when you set up an ad group, you want to choose your keywords first. Okay, and those keywords should be all related to one another. So for example, I could see an ad group here called Fig Concentrate. Well, if I click on this ad group and I look at the keywords, they should all be related to Fig Concentrate. So here we go. We can see a few keywords in this ad group. In fact, I have 10 of them, all related to Fig Concentrate. So it's very, very important from a quality score perspective. If you remember, when we're talking about quality score is based on landing page experience, expected click-through, and the ad relevancy to the keyword. So if you can choose an ad group and have all your keywords related to one another, like I do here with Fig Concentrate, then it's easier to write an ad. Okay, so here I have 10 keywords all related to Fig Concentrate. So now, if I go to ads and extensions in the Google Ads platform, we can see here, I already have a couple of ads going. Okay, so ideally, if I wanted to, I can run more than just 2 ads. As a best practice, you want to have at least 2 ads. Why? Because these 2 ads are going to be served up against each other. And ideally, the whole idea of running more than 1 ad is what Google can do is start serving up the ad that is performing better in terms of click-through rate or in terms of conversions. Okay, so it doesn't hurt to even add 1 or 2 more ads. So here I'm going to go ahead and add 1 more ad here. Okay, so if I click on that plus button, I have a bunch of options here. I'm going to go ahead and choose text ad because I'm running this campaign on the search network. And my goal is to get sales, not leads, sales. So I want sales. I want somebody to click on my ad, go to my website, and purchase some fig concentrate. So that's my goal. And so if I'm on the search network, I can only have text ads. So I'm going to choose text ad. And once I choose text ad, then I have the option now to go through and create a new ad. Okay, so what Google actually does is they populate the ad from previous ads. And so this gives me an opportunity to tweak one of the ads I already have in place. So here you can see I have a final URL, and that's the URL that the traffic is going to go to when they click on your ad. Okay, so if somebody clicks on the ad, that's the page they're going to go to. Call that the final URL. Now I have an option to create up to 3 headlines. So here I can see headline 1, up to 30 characters, I have my brand name. Headline 2, I have something related to the keyword I'm bidding on. So what am I talking about? Fig concentrate. Okay, again, up to 30 characters. Now, that includes spaces. So if you happen to go over 30 characters, your ad's not going to get approved. So here you can see 32 over 30, I'm 2 characters over. If I just get rid of that, the ad is okay. So you got to be careful to stay within the boundaries of the character limits, including spaces. So here I got headline 2 is fig concentrate. Now I'm going to write headline 3. This is new. So this is recently implemented by Google, and I highly recommend that all the fields available to you use, because the more information you can put in an ad, the better it is for not only your ad, but for the end user. Because if somebody's searching and looking for fig concentrate, and you provide them with as much information as possible, then the chances of them clicking on your ad are going to be greater. And that's what we want. If we're going to advertise, we want to advertise so that people can see our ad and click on our ad. That's the whole point, isn't it? To get people to click on our ad because they're looking for something that we're offering. In this example, fig concentrate. So here I have headline 3. I'm going to go ahead and put something in a headline 3, maybe a promotion. Let's just say I'm offering up 20%. So I can say up to 20% off through April and May. Now you see I'm running into character count, so I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it at April. So up to 20% off through April. Now I can create another ad and maybe change the headline to say up to 20% off through May. So you want to take advantage of all 3 headlines. Now notice when I added the headline here, I can see a preview of it on mobile, and I can see a preview of it on desktop. Now, underneath that, I have what they call the display path. So what Google does is they take your domain, in this case, valleyfig.com, and you can basically customize that domain with what they call a path. So you have path 1, path 2, and the whole point of this is for you to customize it based on the keywords you're bidding on. So if I'm bidding on fig concentrate, I'm going to put fig concentrate in here. Now remember, when somebody actually clicks on my ad, they're not going to go to valleyfig.com/fig/concentrate. They're going to go to the URL up here under final URL. So you want to make sure you put a path in here. Ideally, what I would do is put in something related to the keyword I'm bidding on. In this case, fig concentrate. Now I have an opportunity to add a new description, a second description. This is new, and I have up to 90 characters. So I can go ahead and add some content. So remember, with description 2, I have up to 90 characters. So I'm just gonna go ahead and borrow some copy from the website if I'm not actually sure what to write. And so here you can see fig concentrate is a natural product containing no preservatives or additives. So that's my second description. So now I can go ahead and save and create extensions. So I'm just going to go ahead and push the button, save and create extensions. And when I do that, I'm going to be prompted to go ahead and create some ad extensions. And so ad extensions allow me to add in links, site links underneath the ad, just like you see here. So when you've added your site link extensions and other extensions, you save it, you'll be able to see your new ad here. Here we can see the ad we created. Okay, notice it's got the 3 headlines. Notice it's got the 2 descriptions. And if I want to edit, I can just click edit ad and go ahead and edit it. If I don't want to edit it, then I don't have to. I can always go back. So you can always edit an ad after it's been created. Okay, if not, no big deal. Notice when you actually create your ad, in some cases, Google's going to review it to make sure it fits within Google's guidelines and policies. But once it's approved, you'll see approved under the status column. And that's pretty much how you would go ahead and create a text ad, okay? So when it does get approved, it's gonna be in the rotation with the other two ads. And so what Google's gonna do is serve up each ad equally, and then eventually the ad that is performing best will get served up more. And that way you're putting your best ad always in front of the user who's looking for the product and service you're offering. So now let's talk about the metrics. So associated with these keywords, these ads, these ad groups and campaigns. So there are a lot of metrics in Google Ads, a lot of metrics. And we're not even gonna cover most of these metrics. We're just gonna cover what I deem the most common, the most important metrics to get you going. So if you find yourself advertising, whether that be on Google's search network or Google's display network, you're gonna have some common metrics. And here are the metrics that we're gonna focus on today. So you have impressions, cost, clicks, average CPC, conversions, cost per conversion, CTR or click-through rate, and quality score. So let's go through these metrics here and talk about what they are. So impressions, really it's the number of times your ad's been shown on that particular network, whether it's Google search or display. And so an impression is just how many times somebody actually seen your ad. Okay, whether they actually physically seen it or not, if your ad is showing up on that network, then an impression is going to get counted. So here, if we're looking at ads, we can see we have over a period of time, certain amount of impressions. Okay, so that's how many times this particular ad has been shown. So this particular ad here, the first one at the top, has been shown 557 times over this period of time, which is year to date. Okay, so that's an impression, how many times your ad's been shown. So if we talk about cost refers to the amount of money we've spent. So anytime your ad gets clicked, you're going to pay Google X amount. So if I go back to Google Ads, I can see what my total cost is. And not only can I see what my total cost is, I can see what my average cost per click is. And so there's a lot of factors that go into what you actually pay. And some of these factors are who else is advertising, where you're advertising, what network you're advertising on, what time of day, what particular keyword. And so there's a lot of factors. And so here I can see on average, year to date, I've spent $1.80 per click on this particular ad for a total of $32.33. So I can really see how much I've actually spent. And so clicks just refers to how many times somebody clicked on your ad. So if your ad's been shown, you need an impression. And when somebody sees your ad, they're gonna click on your ad. So the whole idea is to get the click. Remember, you wanna be in positions 1 through 3. So I wanna make sure that my average position is between 1 and 3. And so if you're looking in Google Ads at metrics and you don't see average position, well, you can always add that as a column. So if I click on columns here, and then I go to competitive metrics, and I click on average position, and I'm gonna move average position all the way to the top here. So if I click move average position all the way at the top, I'm gonna be able to see what my average position is over that particular period of time. So here I can see I'm in positions 1 through 3, and that's where you want to be. You want to be in positions 1 through 3. So if you're in positions 1 through 3, that means you're at the top if you're on Google search, or that means you're in a prominent position on the display network. So if your ad is shown, meaning it gets an impression, then likely somebody's going to click on that ad. And if somebody clicks on that ad, it's going to generate a click, which in turn is going to generate cost. And so ideally what you want to do is you want to measure the rate at which people click on your ad based on how many times it was shown. So here I can see 28 clicks over 3,549 impressions. That's a 0.79% click-through rate. So ideally, the higher the click-through rate, the better the ad. And the higher the click-through rate, the chances are you're gonna get more traffic to your site. So we wanna be able to measure clicks, and we wanna be able to measure click-through rate, and we also want to measure cost per click, which is really the total cost divided by the number of clicks. So if I go back to Google Ads, here I could see, $17.57 over 28 clicks. That averages out to about 63 cents per click. So that's how I get cost per click. Now your cost per click is going to vary a little bit. Okay, so it's going to vary based on keyword. It's going to be based on where you're advertising, what position, etc. So there's a lot of factors involved with cost per click. But that's how you would actually calculate it, but Google Ads actually does the calculation for you for click-through rate and cost per click. But in case you want to know, you can always divide clicks into cost. Okay, so conversions, probably one of the most important metrics you're going to use in Google Ads because you're paying Google. And if you're paying Google for advertising, you want to make sure you're getting a return on your investment. So conversions are added when a user clicks on your ad and performs an action that you've defined, such as purchasing something, downloading something, viewing something, signing up for a newsletter, etc. So you want to make sure that if you're in Google Ads, that you're measuring conversions. And so you simply want to go to Tools. So if you go to Tools and then click on Conversions, you want to make sure that you're running conversions. Ideally, what you want to do is you want to run conversions from Google Analytics, but you can certainly set up conversions within Google Ads as well. Notice I also have Call from Ads as set up as a conversion. So you have an opportunity in Google Ads to add a number of different conversions, and the more conversions you add, really the better off you are, because you want to measure up all your campaigns against conversions. If I go back to campaigns, I want to be able to see what campaigns are driving conversions. And if I can measure that, and I have a campaign that's really driving conversions, then I'm going to continue to advertise on Google. Okay, so here, over this particular period of time, I can see one campaign has driven 9 conversions at $128.67 cost per conversion. And so how do I get cost per conversion? Well, I get my total cost divided by the number of conversions. And then I can see my conversion rate, the rate at which people convert. So really, if I have 241 clicks and 9 conversions, that's 9 divided by 241, that's 3.77% conversion rate. So I can measure conversion rate, cost per conversion, and conversion just by setting up conversions in Google Ads. And so ideally, if you're going to pay Google for advertising, you want to be able to measure return on investment via conversions. So again, see, cost per conversion is just really the total cost divided by the number of conversions, and then click-through rate, again, just as a reminder, the total clicks divided by the total number of impressions. And then one other metric we're going to talk about here today is quality score. So quality score is really Google's way of measuring how well your keywords are compared to the ad associated with it, the expected click-through rate, and the landing page. So quality score is the backbone of Google Ads. So if I go back to Google Ads and I click on keywords, quality score is something you want to measure. And if you don't have it in your columns, you could certainly just click on columns and add it. And so here I can see my quality score, and quality score is a measurement between 1 and 10. And so if you have a good quality score, Google's gonna score you higher because your keyword is relevant to your ad, it's relevant to the landing page, and you have a good expected click-through rate. If you don't have a good quality score, Google's going to let you know why you don't have a good quality score. So again, your 3 categories that make up quality score are landing page experience, which means really Google looking at the landing page you're sending people to, and they're seeing if the page loads well, fast, does it have ads, does it have good content, is it a good landing page? Will the end user have a good experience? They also look at the ad relevance. Okay, is the ad relevant to the keyword? And they'll also look at the expected click-through rate. Okay, so based on other advertisers and their click-through rate, are you achieving the same click-through rate? And so those 3 factors make up quality score. Quality score is a metric assigned to keywords. So if you don't have a good quality score, you need to fix it, because the repercussion is you're going to have to pay more. So having a good quality score likely means you're going to pay less per click. So you want to make sure that if you bid on a keyword, that the keyword goes to a relevant landing page, the ad itself is relevant, and you're getting a good click-through rate. So quality score is the backbone of Google Ads and how it works. So you want to make sure you have a good quality score. So optimizing your ads. So what if you don't have a good quality score? What if you're not getting conversions? Well, there's things you can do. So remember, we want to make sure that we're adding extensions, whether that be call, site link, review, app. Add extensions to your ads because it's going to increase the click-through rate. So you can also really hone your ad copy. If you're selling products and you're running promotion, maybe you want to add in a little sense of urgency to help people, realize, hey, if this promotion's ending, maybe I want to click on the ad and take action. Okay, with Google Ads, you can always run A/B testing on ads. And so what you could do is run 2 ads in one ad group and see what ad is performing best in terms of click-through rate or conversion rate. And whatever ad is running better, you can always run that ad and then continue more testing. So that way you're always putting your best forward in terms of advertising. In the ad copy, whether that be text or display, you always want to use call to action. You want to get people to click on your ad. When somebody clicks on your ad, it's going to improve click-through rate. Click-through rate improves quality score. So as I mentioned several times already, you want to make sure your ads are placed at the top between positions 1 and 3 on Google search. So you can measure ad position in Google Ads, and if you're not ranked between 1 and 3, you want to increase your bid. And you can also optimize for local search. So local is an ad extension that you can add to your ad. You can also advertise at a time when your audience is online, or you can advertise during business hours only. So you can adjust when you advertise on Google. Ensure some of your ads, capitalize on some particular events that are related to your industry. So you can capitalize on that. Okay, you can certainly ask Google to accelerate your ads, okay, or you can do standard delivery so Google can spread out your clicks and show your ads throughout the day. Google search is all about keywords, so you want to be able to pick and choose the right keywords first. You can also add negative keywords. So if you're bidding on a specific industry, let's just say you have software and you want somebody to sign up for your particular piece of software, but you don't offer a free trial, then maybe you want to add free as a negative keyword. So if you don't offer anything for free, free should be a negative keyword. So if somebody actually does type in looking for free software, then your ad's not going to show up. So that's the whole idea behind negative keywords. Okay, you can use dynamic keyword insertion into your ads, meaning you can ask Google, hey, I want to dynamically insert a keyword into my ad that somebody uses to make your ad more relevant. So relevancy increases click-through rate and improves quality score. So as you can see, there's a lot of things you can do. Here's some more things. You can use branding keywords. You can use particular match types in Google. So let's talk about match types for a second. So you have different match types. If I go back to Google Ads, here I can see my keywords that I'm bidding on. So by default, if you actually bid on a keyword, it's going to be broad match. And so if I bid on the keyword medical computer, if somebody typed in something related to medical and included the keyword medical but not computer, then my ad may show up. However, I can make it exact match, so somebody can type in exactly only medical computer. So if I click edit and I can change the match type for that particular keyword to exact, then that means that somebody that types in only medical computer, my ad is going to show up. I can basically do phrase match, so if somebody types in looking for something that's going to help me with medical computers, okay, that's a long tail phrase keyword query, but the keyword medical computer is in that order, so my ad is going to show up. Okay, so with phrase match, your ad is going to show when somebody types in that keyword you're bidding on in that order. You also have broad match modifiers, so if you have a plus sign in front of the keyword, then that means that somebody actually has to use the keyword in the query in order for your ad to show up. Okay, so you could change the match type of any keyword. So if you're using exact or phrase, then chances are you're going to have lower volume of queries, but probably higher relevancy. If you use a broad match, then your ad could show up for any combination of search queries. So you really want to be careful on the match type that you choose. So keep an eye on quality score. Remember, Google has quality score between 1 and 10. The higher quality score, the better you are. So really, if you have a quality score, I would say anything below 4, you probably want to pause the keyword. Okay, so you can measure quality score at the keyword level. So if I go back to Google Ads and I have keywords that are say 3, chances are I'm going to have to pay more for the click and it might not be worth it. So I may want to end up pausing that keyword and try other keywords that are more relevant that I can send traffic to a more relevant landing page, or I can have an ad that's more relevant to that keyword in order to help with quality scoring. Okay, you can ensure that your landing pages are mobile friendly. So that's another thing you want to keep in mind, that most people start their search on mobile. So you certainly want to make sure that your landing pages are optimized, because if somebody starts the search on mobile, likes your product or service, chances are they're coming back via desktop or even going into the store. Most searches start on mobile, so you want to make sure those pages are optimized. And there's plenty more things you can do to optimize your ads. You want to make sure you group and organize your keywords into relevant ad groups. Why? Because you can write relevant ads for those keywords. So if I go back to Google Ads, I want to make sure if I go to ad groups, that the keywords in that ad group are all relative to one another. So what's my ad group name? Well, if it's medical PC, if I click on medical PC, I want to make sure the keywords in that ad group are all relative to medical PC. I want to structure my campaigns and ad groups to target more ads effectively. So you want to be able to, organize your campaigns and ad groups. And the rule of thumb here is you should organize your campaigns and ad groups based on the site architecture of your site. So the way your website is laid out in the navigation is how you should likely structure your campaigns and ad groups. Focus on your budget. Okay, so you want to put more budget to campaigns that are converting. Okay, you can use automatic bidding for ads to maximize results. So meaning that Google has what they call artificial intelligence. So Google can do a lot of the bidding and a lot of the managing for you. That's really a great benefit to running your ads on Google. So their machines are learning behavior from your keywords that you're bidding on. And so ideally, when they learn what's converting, they're going to bid more and try and help you get the conversion for the keywords that have historically converted. And so ideally, you can use some of the automated bidding features that Google Ads has to offer in order to improve performance.